Hello, my name is Caroline, and I'm a flight instructor here at Professional Aviation. Over the next few minutes, I'll share some important information about the Ozzano Emilia Airfield. I promise it won't take long, but it's important stuff. For safety reasons, everyone operating at our airport needs to follow the information and procedures in this briefing. Think of it as the house rules of the sky around here. At Ozzano Emilia, the sky is rarely quiet. We have a busy mix of airplanes and helicopters flying 7 days a week, from sunrise to sunset. During the week, most of the activity comes from our flight school, with students learning the art and sometimes the struggle of flying. On weekends, things get even livelier when private general aviation aircraft join the party. Because of all this activity, when approaching or leaving the airfield, pilots must keep their eyes outside the cockpit and their ears tuned to the radio. In other words, look out, listen carefully, and don't daydream about lunch just yet. Also, most of our students come from different countries, so radio communication is conducted in English. That means all radio calls must be made in English, even if your Italian is perfect and your accent is fantastic. Follow these simple rules and you'll fit right in with the organized chaos of a busy training airfield. Ozzano Emilia is located about 11 miles east of Bologna Airport, just outside its CTR. Close enough to feel important, but far enough to stay out of trouble. To the south, you'll find the hills. To the east, north, and west, it's all flat countryside. Nice views either way, but remember, you're here to fly the airplane, not to start a sightseeing tour. Runway orientation is 03 and 21. The traffic pattern is standard for both runways, and the circuit altitude is 1,000 feet AGL, which means 1,100 MSL since airport elevation is 100 feet, the same for general aviation aircraft and ultralights. So everyone shares the same sky and plays by the same rules. For arriving aircraft, the mandatory radio calls are at 5 miles from the airport on downwind, base, and final. Now, here's something important to keep in mind. Training aircraft from Professional Aviation Academy, after making the line-up and wait call, will perform a 60-second engine run-up on the runway before starting the takeoff roll. So if you're flying downwind, remember this procedure. Otherwise, you might find yourself nicely established on final, only to discover the runway is still occupied, which means a go-around. Great for training, less great for your ego. One more thing, and this one is not negotiable. It is strictly forbidden to overfly an aircraft holding at the threshold and land on the remaining runway. Anyone who tries that creative maneuver will be reported to ENAC. And trust me, that's not the kind of attention you want. Pay special attention to this power line located north of the airfield when you are approaching or departing the airport. As far as airspace is concerned, Ozzano sits in uncontrolled airspace, which basically means no one is officially in charge. So everyone has to behave nicely and pay attention. The Bologna CTR begins at 2,000 feet AGL. Our Ozzano frequency is 128.45. If you feel the irresistible urge to climb above 2,000 feet, you'll need to call Bologna radar on the published frequencies and ask before going any higher. One more important thing, be careful, because the final approach for Bologna's runway 30 passes at about 3,000 feet just a few miles south of Ozzano. And trust me, the last thing you want is to unexpectedly meet an airliner on short final. They're bigger, faster, and generally not in the mood for surprises. The entry and exit points for the Ozzano traffic pattern are Medicina and Castel Guelfo, located 5 and 6 miles east of the airport, respectively. Think of them as the main doors. About 5 miles north, you'll find the North Corridor, while to the south, the entry and exit reference point is the town of Ozzano Emilia itself. To keep arriving and departing traffic from playing aerial bumper cars, we use different altitudes. Arriving aircraft should maintain 1,500 feet AGL from 8 miles out until overhead the airport, then descend to circuit altitude in coordination with other traffic. Departing aircraft should maintain 1,000 feet AGL until reaching 8 miles from the airport. This simple rule helps keep everyone nicely layered instead of awkwardly mixed together. Also remember that within 8 miles of the airport, it is mandatory to monitor the Ozzano frequency, 128.45. In other words, radio on, ears open, and join or monitor the conversation. The runway at Ozzano Emilia is asphalt and 840 meters long. The main taxiway runs along the east side of the runway and is connected to it by 5 taxiway intersections. There are 2 windsocks located east of runway 03 and runway 21 thresholds. If you're ever unsure about the wind, just take a look. They're much more reliable than guessing. The hangars and parking areas are also located on the east side of the runway. Aircraft that need to park can use any numbered parking stand or the grass area. However, parking is strictly prohibited on the apron west of the hangars, the one in front of the Professional Aviation Academy maintenance. In short, if it looks like a maintenance area, it's probably not your parking spot. Finally, the fuel pump is self-service and offers AV gas, MOGAS, and Jet A1. So whatever you're flying, we've got the right juice for it. And that's it for the Asano Amelia Airfield Briefing. We're very happy to welcome you to Asano and to professional aviation. Whether you're here for training, visiting, or just passing through, we hope you'll enjoy flying at our airfield as much as we do. Asano is a busy little airport, but if everyone keeps their eyes outside, their ears on the radio, and their brains switched on, everything runs smoothly. Follow the procedures, be predictable, communicate clearly, and remember that good airmanship is the best traffic management system ever invented. So once again, welcome to Asano Amelia. Enjoy your flying, fly safe, and try not to become the reason for the next briefing update.